Well, it's the closest thing we've had to live real sports since, February, March? It has been a long time coming. I understand it's only exhibition still, but it had that real game feel to it as the Blue Jays come back and beat the Boston Red Sox 8-6 in exhibition play at Fenway Park. And Nate Pearson got the ball in his first game for the Blue Jays. Again, still technically spring training, so he's had those before. But to face a really good lineup in the Red Sox, it was a big test for Nasty Nate there today against the Boston Red Sox. By the way, first off, if you guys have not followed the TO Sports Talk Instagram page and are interested in doing so, the link is down in the description if you're interested in following up there. We have about 60 of you guys on there, which is fantastic. Hope to continue to build that. I posted a couple stories there today about the game, about Nate Pearson and a little pregame thing. So if you guys are interested in that, go crazy. The link is down below for that. Now let's get to this game. And in the first inning, Nate Pearson, he wasn't very spot on. He was just trying to beat guys with his fastball. And I think what he's going to learn real quick, I understand he's pitched in spring training, so he kind of knows. But you go into a game like this, and you're facing top-notch hitters who have been there, done that for years. And they see a 95-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle. Maybe guys in AAA will be able to say, holy smokes, and not be able to catch up to it. But big leaguers, they'll make you pay if you make a mistake. And you saw that early in this game. With Mitch Moreland crushing a 3-run shot. To make it a 4-0 game in the first inning. He had a really rocky first inning to Nate Pearson. He got the first guy on a nasty change. I think it was Benintendi. Could be wrong. Was he the leadoff guy? Yeah, he was the leadoff guy for the Red Sox. So he... Crazy strikeout there to start the game. Then he walks JD Martinez and then kind of gets in a little trouble, gives up the 3-run shot, and it's 4-0. But after that, Nate Pearson settles down. The final line for Nate Pearson goes as so: 3 2/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, walked 2, and struck out 5. So he had the strikeout numbers, 5 Ks over 3 2/3, which is great. He had the 1 home run, the 3-run shot. So that's 3 of the 4 runs scored. All the runs he gave up was in that first inning. He gave up the 1 home run in that inning. He walked a guy in that inning. So if you take all of those away, including that first inning, he went, 2 innings of 3-hit ball, walked 1, and that was it. He did a really good job after that first inning. And for Nate Pearson, everyone freaking out. I understand. He's our guy. He's our future. He's our number one ace of the future. We all have that feeling that he is. Because he got rocked in the first inning of an exhibition game against the Red Sox does not mean that changes. It doesn't. It just means okay, he's human, and he knows that now. So he made an adjustment, threw some more off-speed stuff, and really good off-speed stuff in the innings afterwards. Still used his fastball. I think touched 98-99 at one point. So that's exactly what you want to see, Nate, with that nice 89-mile-an-hour changeup. His changeup is so dirty. Watching that today, especially the first one against Benintendi, nasty pitch. I mean, if he can throw his fastball and paint them, his stuff will play. But it's when he thinks 95, 96, 97 is going to beat guys if he throws it down the middle, because that's not going to play in the big leagues, right? And you saw that early in the game, but like I said, he made adjustments, he figured it out, and he did a good job the rest of the way, all right? Now, so you're down 4-0, you could then go to the top of the third inning, and where are we here? I don't know why they're so delayed on stats. If you guys are looking at the score, MLB at bat, they're still saying that we're in the 7th inning right now. So I apologize if the later innings are a little splotchy here. I was not expecting to see this right now. But, in that 4th inning, was it 4th? No, excuse me, in the 3rd inning, when the Jays score a couple runs, I love how they did it. They got a couple of hits here, got a couple guys in scoring position, sac fly here. RBI ground out here. You score a couple runs, you cut that deficit in half. It's now 4-2. Small ball leads to good things happening. And I'm telling you guys, this team is so used to last year, a lot of strikeouts, and a lot of waste outs. And people, you always hear the strikeout numbers are higher in the big leagues. Well, it doesn't really mean anything. It does. They're empty outs. And you saw that in that 3rd inning. What if those guys who hit the sac fly and the RBI ground out, what if they struck out? Those runs aren't scoring, and you might lose the game. Productive outs are so crucial to winning a baseball game. You saw it there in the 3rd. At that point, it really didn't mean a lot other than cutting the deficit in half. Then In the 5th inning, Ryan Brockie gives up an opposite field shot to JD Martinez. But other than that, Brockie was very good. So now let's go in between that. Jordan Romano faced one guy, gets a strikeout. Romano is going to be a key guy in this bullpen. Okay? He's going to be a massive guy in this bullpen for the Toronto Blue Jays. And he's going to be at the back end, probably in the 8th inning, 7th inning, depending on where they need him at that point in time, in front of Giles in the 9th. So that's kind of what we're going for here, and I like what we saw. It was one batter, but he looked real good, and I love his off speed. If Jordan Romano can throw his pitches for quality strikes, I don't know any pitcher, if they throw their pitches for quality strikes, will be good. But he throws like 98, and his curveball and changeup are so dirty that if he can make quality pitches with those, he's going to be basically unhittable. You saw that in that one. I mean, he faced one guy, but he made him look silly, and he did a really good job there. Now, Brockie went 2 2/3, gave up 2 hits, 2 runs, struck out 4 guys, gave the 2-run shot to JD Martinez. Again, like I said, other than that 1-2-run shot, I thought he did really well in his 2 2/3. I thought he was spot on. I thought he looked real solid. And for Ryan Brockie, he's still vying for that 5th spot in the rotation. Anthony Kay is obviously the other guy that's kind of in the weeds there. I mean, again, him and Anthony Kay are going to be battling for that 5th spot, and one of them is going to get it, but the other guy's going to have that long man mentality, that kind of what they did with Pearson today. Only went 3 2/3. Well, you give 2 2/3 to Brockie. That's kind of what they're going to be doing in the season as well. I just got that feeling. All right? Now, he gives up the 2-run shot, making it a 6-2 Red Sox lead. We go to the top half, that was the bottom half of the 5th. We go to the top of the 6th inning, and Rowdy Tellez, Boston commentators, let me rephrase myself, Rowdy Tellez. Yeah, look, I'm going to get into that in a second here. It's just, it's sad. I'll get to that stuff in a second. But nonetheless, Rowdy Tellez, there we go, crushes a ball to dead center. And I mean crushes one. Because dead center at Fenway, that is deep. That is at least 420 to dead center. That is dead center. That is deep. And he crushed a 2-run shot, taking those 2 runs right back. As we always say watching baseball games, when you put up a 0 in one inning, or when you score runs in a half inning, you want to put up a 0 the next half. The Red Sox did not. The Jays answered with 2 of their own, and we're back to a 2-run ball game. It's 6-4 Sox. All right, we move ahead to the top of the 7th inning. Derek Fisher, he crushes one deep and gone, and I'm like, who? Derek the Fishman? Holy smoke! We got ourselves a 1-run ball game. It's 6-5. Now, like I said, MLB at-bat is not up to date right now for some unknown reason. They're still saying it's the bottom of the 7th. So, like I said, I apologize if things get a little splotchy here. But you make it a 6-5 game. And pitching-wise, I loved Anthony Bass. I think he pitched a really solid inning out there. Sean Reed Foley pitched. Now, he was in the 7th, but I think he faced one guy. I could be totally... I think he pitched... Yeah, he faced one guy in the bottom of the 7th and got out of it. It was a deep fly ball, I think it was. Or it was a line drive to left field, I think it was, from off of Sean Reed Foley. And then the 8th inning, had Anthony Bass come out and do a really good job. Then we go to the top of the 9th inning. Blue Jays trailing 6-5. Okay? Rowdy Tellez, rips a double, and we're like, hey, we were in business. We got the tying run in scoring position. Now, how are these Blue Jays going to go about this? I understand it's exhibition. You don't want to read too much into it, but you're playing at Fenway Park against Ryan Brazier, a really good reliever, one of the key guys in the Red Sox bullpen. You're facing a really good guy back there. You got a runner in scoring position, nobody out, you're down a run. You need to find a way to do a job here. Next batter, Teoscar Hernandez. First 2 pitches, they make him look stupid. It's kind of a half swing, like, I shouldn't have swung at that. And then he looks at a hanging curveball right down the middle. Okay, well, you're looking absolutely silly. This is going to be a waste of an at-bat. He throws him another curveball down, but Hernandez stays with it. Clubs it into left field. It's a base hit. Obviously, since it was fairly close to the left fielder, Rowdy Tellez kind of had to hold up a little bit. So he probably wouldn't have scored anyways, no matter what. Runners on the corners now. Nobody out. For who? Derek Fisher. But before we get to Derek Fisher, Ryan Brazier decides to try and pick off Teoscar Hernandez at first base. In what world is that a smart decision? I understand you want to keep the double play in order, But why in the world would the Jays waste an out that way, trying to steal with Teoscar? Look, Teo's got okay speed, but he ain't no burner. He's not like no D. Gordon or Juan Pierre back in the day, or guys like that. He's not a speed burner. He's not going to do that. He's not like Biggio, where he's going to pick his spots perfectly. So I don't know why he's trying to pick off. I think Lynn was at first base. He ain't even looking. He's talking to the guys on the bench. Ball goes right by him into the seats. So Tellez comes in and scores. Hernandez up to second. I'm thinking to myself, what the hell was this guy thinking? He had 2 strikes on Derek Fisher. What are you doing? Focus on getting this guy, roll double play, ball game over. But okay, and it's Derek Fisher. It ain't no Josh Donaldson or Bautista or Vladdy or Bichette or Biggio. There's none of that. But okay, we'll take it. It's a tie game. If it wasn't the next pitch, it was the pitch after that. Derek Fisher destroys a ball to right field over the Jays bullpen. And the Jays have an 8-6 lead. Derek Fisher has a 2-homer game, breaks the tie, and the Jays are up 8-6. Okay, right on. I mean, yes, it's exhibition, but anytime a Toronto team can beat Boston is always nice, because anytime we can get a win against a Boston team, we enjoy the snot out of it, because it doesn't happen too often. Anyways, we'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning, the Red Sox last chance, and as the Boston commentators would say, in comes from the Blue Jays bullpen, Rafael Dolis. It's Rafael Dolis. And I could be 100% wrong with that, but I've looked up a few times, and I remember hearing Buck and Dan Shillman in Toronto saying Dolis. So I'm going with that. Anyways, he comes in and does a job, locks the game down, gets the double play to end it, and a beautiful turn by Santiago Espinal at second base, though, to end that game. That was pretty play right there from Espinal. Ball game, Blue Jays, 8-6 winners over the Red Sox of the mini 2-gamer that we got going on here. Exhibition stage of summer camp. That's what they call it right now. It's in the books. Jays win game 1. Whoopee. Doesn't really mean anything. Now, the reason I've brought up so many times, a couple times, about the pronunciation of Tellez and Dolis being wrong, and no one's saying anything. The reason I bring that up is because those guys are professionals. Those guys, for the Red Sox, have probably been doing that for many, many, many years. And I know from a few personal experiences myself. I've been in a booth, a sporting booth, a few times. And I have seen the papers they use. I'm assuming, and I've been seeing junior hockey and OHL hockey. I'm not talking big league baseball or anything. I'm assuming they have the same thing. Pronunciations of names, like breakdowns. In like 3 syllables is how you say the guy's name. So they have Tellez's name written. They have Dolis's name written. Why is no one saying it right? I don't know. That could just be me being petty about stuff, but all I'm saying, it's common sense, it's simple stuff. And it gets noticed by people watching. Now, if it was just Boston fans watching the broadcast, wouldn't care, because our guys would get it right. I don't know. It's just me being a little petty towards it, I guess, but I'm just saying that it's the small things, pronunciation and stuff. You've heard a lot of people say Tellez and stuff like that, and I'm like, the guy's been in the league now for, if you combine it, probably about a year and a half, almost. How do you still not get his name right? I don't know. It baffles me sometimes, guys. But all I know is that for the first game of, I'm not going to say the season, but first game of somewhat competitive play, Blue Jays are pretty good. I got to give the guys credit. They played hard. They didn't quit. They were down 6-2, in the 5th inning against the Boston Red Sox. With guys like Brandon Workman, Ryan Brazier coming out of the pen, Matt Barnes coming out of the pen. Some pretty good relievers coming out of there. And they did a job and came back and won. And the bullpen locked it down. Anthony Bass, Sean Reed Foley for 1 batter, and then Rafael Dolis for 1 inning. They did a good job. Now, ideally, the latter half of the game, obviously, they bring in their non-regular guys, as the Blue Jays did, so you can kind of go off of that. But they wouldn't do that in the regular season. But overall, not bad. I'll give him that. Again, do you look anything into this? Not really. You look at Nate Pearson, be like, well, confidence factor. You saw early on in the game, he's kind of shaking his head, a little angry with himself. And he's going to go through that kind of thing. He's a young pitcher, 23 years old. I mean come on. Who's not going to go through that at 23 years old, pitching in at Fenway Park against the Boston Red Sox? Obviously, different atmosphere, COVID-related, obviously, and not being a regular season game as well. But I thought he looked okay. Good, very good after the first inning. Baraki, other than one bad pitch, I thought he looked pretty good. And the rest of the Blue Jays, I thought looked all right. Vladdy had, I think he had at least one hit. Bo had a hit. Biggio doing his thing, had an RBI, just finding a way to make an impact on the team. Really good job there. And Rowdy Tellez had a couple knocks. Derek Fisher had a couple hits, obviously the 2 home runs. And then Teoscar Hernandez had a 3-hit game. He had 3 singles in the game. I was really impressed with Teoscar Hernandez in this one. But we all know what Teoscar is. He shows you flashes, then he falls back, and you're like, where's the consistency, right? But I do have to give Teoscar a ton of credit. This is the last thing I'm going to say before I wrap this thing up. With the way that he approached that final at bat, and the fact that on the first 2 pitches he was fooled so bad, and there was no doubt in my mind he was going to strike out either looking or looking like a fool. But in fact, he stayed on the curveball and ripped a single and ended up being the game-winning run. So I got to give the guy credit you got to give credit where credit is due, and that's where it was there. And it's not, he ain't facing no 2-bit pitcher. He's facing Ryan Brazier, a very good reliever, and he did a great job. I was really impressed with what we saw there from Teoscar Hernandez in this game. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to wrap this video up. If you enjoyed the video and are jacked up to having Blue Jays baseball back, smack that like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below everything towards the team, everything towards the game. Do you look anything into this game? Let me know, guys. Go nuts in the comments below. I want to hear everything you guys want to say. All right. And Twitter is down below for myself. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, I was going to say Patreon. I'm so used to saying that. The Instagram link is down below, like I said earlier. If you guys are interested in following up for that, I posted a couple stories on there today. So if you guys are interested in that, go nuts. Follow up. The link is in the description. All right. And I will talk to you guys. Here we go. Leafs edition. All right. Leafs edition next week, midweek sometime. Same with the Toronto Raptors. Both Raptors and Leafs next week mid-time, because it's going to be like 2 or 3 days before the season gets going for both those teams. That's kind of the goal for that, because Blue Jays baseball is back. I will talk to you guys Blue Jays edition tomorrow night after Game 2 of the exhibition series here against the Boston Red Sox to end summer camp and start the season. I'll talk to you guys Thursday, actually, be the season preview for the Jays season. All right. And like I mentioned to you guys all weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those videos will not be uploaded until Monday when I come back from my buddy's cottage. But like I said, the Instagram page will be going on a few times, because obviously when you're at the cottage, you don't want to be on your phone too much. You guys feel that. So I'll be posting stories on there throughout the weekend about what's going on with the Blue Jays. All right. If you guys are interested, like I said, follow up down below. All right. And I will talk to you guys on tomorrow as the Blue Jays look to win both games against the Red Sox and go into the season feeling pretty good about themselves, right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.